Well, hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday Night Live stream. We have the usual suspects, and we have a distinguished guest, Mr. Walter Bunning. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey
CW,
guys, good to
for
be here.
thanks for being here, CW,
Thanks for having me.
and as always, my brother Kyle. Kick it off, brother.
Which one? Who'd you point to?
You.
Oh,
You got it right.
I didn't know if he was pointing at you or me.
That's
Uh,
just rodeo, dude.
Hey, everybody. Glad y'all could be here. Luckily, we had a break from the heat. It rained a little bit. Of course, now it's humid, but it dropped the temperature about 15 degrees, so that's good. I'm out here on the back porch just enjoying life and being grateful for the end of another week. That's about all I can say. That's how it's been. Had rough times at work with air conditioning, and thankfully, my house is like I'm living in an igloo, and it's only 75 degrees in there. So, uh, with that, welcome in. Come on in, children, and let's have some fun. Walter, go ahead.
Well, it's good. It's good to be here. I had heard a lot of commotion about the Georgia Shooting Connection, and for some reason, never could find it on YouTube, and I don't know why. Spelled it wrong or didn't put spaces where they. Anyway, I finally asked Willie today. I said, "Hey, Willie, where is this?" And he pointed me in the right direction, and got a hold of Jamie. And Jamie sent me an invitation, but I did want to come on and say hello to you guys because some of you folks I don't see all the time on some of the other chats and whatnot and live streams. But looking over here, I got my phone going and right next door here, looking at the side chat, and there are a lot of guys that I know. I see GGW is one of my subscribers, and Andy is there, and let's see James Pollard, and a lot of you fellas I know from my own channel and from some of the others. So it's good to see you over here as well. And I thought maybe the left coast over here could use some good representation. Humidity is all the way up to 61 here right now. I don't know if I can handle it.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
61. The garage is 76. The outdoor one says 72. So we'll take that. We could use your rain though. We haven't had any rain. We had an 8-inch rain 2 days ago, but that was the distance between the drops. I went out there with a tape measure and measured it. And that's all we've had in about 4 months. We're hurting here. We're at 50% of normal, and our reservoirs are dropping like toilet flushing. So
Well, I'm going to try an experiment right here, and I'm going to apologize in advance if this gets wonky. But I need to put a link up to our channel. I mean, all the guys that are watching, obviously know where we're at. But I need to get a link. So
there's AR.
What's
hey,
up?
I ran over a little bit on the stream apparently, so I'm late. How you all doing?
Doing good, brother. How about you?
I'm pretty good. Humid and hot today, but
Oh, boy.
I'm sitting here with a bandana wet.
Oh boy,
There you
that's
go.
miserable.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
Tred's got a link up there, Jamie. Is that something for us? Something you wanted him to do?
That would be great. Is that the link to our channel, Tred? I bet it is, because that's how Tred works.
Yeah, he's usually pretty quick.
How you doing, Walter?
I'm doing well. AR, thanks. I was just telling the guys just before you came in that I'd always kind of wanted to hook up on this particular live chat, say hello to some of the guys over here that I don't see too much. CW, for example, doesn't frequent some of the bars. I mean, some of the chats that I do. And so I thought I'd come over for a while. I won't stay all night. I'll give up some space here in a little while, but we're doing pretty well. G23 saying he got a major drought going on in Oregon. Yeah, I know you boys got fire up there too. We're sharing.
Yeah,
you guys.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad because those fires out there in California and Oregon, they've actually affected everything over here. I got to work the other morning, and my wingman that works the front counter, I said, "Hey man, come out here and look at this." He goes, "No, I ain't got time. I'm busy. I'm busy." I said, "No, come here and look at this." He's like, "No, I ain't got time." I said, "Well, never mind. You can see it from where you're at." And he was looking through the tinted windows at the shop. And he goes, "What the heck?" And he walks outside, and I said, "See, you could see the sun perfectly with no, I guess they'd call it, I don't want to say it on this platform, but corona."
Yeah.
You didn't have any of the shine or anything. It was just a red ball from all the smoke that was over here. It was it was different. It was something to see.
It's amazing. You guys are 3,000 miles away from me, and I'm, maybe 400 miles from the nearest big fire. Got no smoke here in my place.
It's all coming over here.
Yeah, it's all coming this way.
It's
We have smoke here.
Seems right.
A dump here got hit by lightning this morning, and there's smoke everywhere in this county.
Oh boy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we haven't got to hear from CW yet. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm just listening and watching here. It's having a good time.
Yeah.
How you doing, CW?
Pretty good. How are you, man?
Oh, pretty good.
I was watching the stream there, and I was grilling and back and forth, and my neighbor stopped over and had a beer, and I thought I had it open all the time, but I don't know if my wife silenced it or if I hit the button, but I was about 20 minutes behind you, and I'm answering comments, but you guys were already 20 minutes ahead of me, and I didn't realize it until Dave asked what time it was, and I said, "Oh, look at there." So I shut up.
Yeah, I had to look up now. Oh crap, Echo! It's 2 minutes after. Yeah.
It took me a minute to find it. Apparently, I got unsubscribed from our own channel.
I've been running into that lately. I've been having to resubscribe to Scotsman, a few others. I can't remember that. I remember Scotsman though. I had to resubscribe.
Yeah, I had to do a little searching, and I finally found it and was able to pop out the chat.
I wonder if that's YouTube sneaking into our accounts again and twiddling with us.
I'm sure.
Probably. Some little nerd on a computer there.
Yeah.
There's one forum I'm on that I can't post any links to YouTube.
Yeah, I've been having problems with just oddball things. It won't let me comment on certain people's videos. I can't even see the comments. I'll see stuff. It doesn't pop up in my subscription feed, but it pops up on my home screen. Just all kinds of weird stuff. I don't know.
I never ever get an announcement for a comment unless I go to the what's the other thing we have there? Studio. I get in Studio, but I don't. Of course, it doesn't tell me unless I click on a little dot up there. But I don't get any announcements. I do get answers or comments rather in somebody else's thread. If I make a post and then they post, I'll get that. But my own, I get nothing. I would think nobody ever commented on one of my videos because they don't tell me anything.
I got a TAC with AOK Foraging and Adventures made a comment on one of my older videos. Apparently, like a year and a half ago, I finally got a notification that she commented. I was like, what? Wow. That's just odd. I don't like old soldier says, it's like we're being targeted.
Yeah. That's amazing. I don't get. I guess I could turn on the noisy notifications, but I get a bunch of them, and the phone's dinging all day long. So, but I do get a little flag on the YouTube app on my phone that says 1 or 2 or 3 or however many notifications there are. And CW, if you're not even getting those, I'm even more impressed because I hit you with about 12 of those things today.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
You must have been saying that daggum
Wow.
walkthrough is making me dig into this thing.
No, I love the answer in the comments, and I try and check and watch, but sometimes somebody will comment to an old one, and I don't know what they're talking about because although I get their comment, I have no idea what video they're talking about.
You have to go back and watch your own video.
Yeah, if you know the way that that works, the studio, you don't. All of my videos start the same, so every video comes up with the same flag. So I have no idea what video they're talking about.
Mhm.
Right. But yeah, it was weird that I finally got a notification that and I'd already responded to it. And we'd actually talked about it. But it was like a year and a half ago. I finally got a notification. The only reason I noticed it is I went back to the video to look at something and noticed that she commented on it. So I responded to her. And then a year and a half later, I get a notification. Hey, she commented. Okay.
Mhm.
We got the side chat filling up out there.
41,
Everybody's
but only 2 thumbs up. So gotta get those thumbs up in there.
Got
we had a nice comment from G23 and GGW. And, guys, another thing I just want to reiterate while I got a second here. There's Broke Loader and Curtis and Jesse B. I just want to reiterate while I got a second. We do what we do for you guys that are watching. And of course, we wouldn't have much of a show without you, or it wouldn't be worth doing without you guys. And the guys on the panel just make the show what it is. So, thank you guys for coming on and helping us with what we do. And so I'm I don't know the word, humbled, I guess, as Lee says, that y'all come out every. GGW he has an alarm on his phone set to go off, so he'll remember to come watch us, and that's just awesome, man. Thank you so much. And I think we're going to be giving away a press here for long. It's going to be one of the vintage presses that I did a video refurbishing. We got haven't put the second one up yet. I'm gonna be working on that this coming week. It's already filmed. It's got to be edited, but it's a
RCBS
Rock Chucker Junior 3. So
that's a
talk
nice.
to me after the chat
nice
on that too, Jamie. I think I'll add something to that too.
That'd be great.
We have 34 thumbs up.
Good.
I got a
Thanks, everyone.
Of a junior press not too long ago. I don't know, 6 to 8 months ago. Found one on Craigslist. Actually, it was a bunch of other stuff the guy had, and he had that press, and it was all rusty. And I said, "What do you want for that press?" He said, "Oh, give me $5 for it." And I said, "Yeah, I'll give you $5 for it." And I cleaned it all up and gave it to a beginner here in town. And he was happy as sliced cheese to get a hold of that press.
That's awesome,
great, it was just a little bit rusty, it didn't take a whole lot. I didn't paint it. I told him he'd go get a powder coater or something if he wanted to, but it wasn't all that bad. It just needed the pins freed up and cleaned up and moved, and the ram and the handle.
Yeah, it's hard to kill them. They made them to last.
Yeah, the castings on them were great.
Fuzzy, do you need a press, buddy? We got to find something. We got to find some way. I know G23. What I want to do is I want to bless somebody who's on the fence. Somebody that's on the fence, thinking about reloading, thinking about starting. Not sure you want to spend all that money on all the stuff to get started, but you can get started for. Well, back in the day before COVID, you could get started for about $150 to $200.
Right.
But we want to find that guy, and I think G23 may be that guy. anyway, if we got to come up with a contest, and yeah, okay, Buzz has a press, but
I'm telling you, it feels really good to not have bought any store bought ammo for anything that I own
Hmm.
in what 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it
I mean,
feels
it just
doubly good to be able to keep on shooting now when ammo, factory ammo is just not around. It's getting a little better, but even for a 45 auto around here, it's going to cost you almost $1 every time you pull the trigger, and that's
yeah.
not, that takes the fun out of it.
we can do better than that.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all got
Since I started casting, even shooting 45 ACP is
Hmm.
only about 14 cents a round, maybe.
Oh, wow.
thanks,
Yeah,
Jerry Parker. I'll
and
have to
that
say that more often.
if a guy can find free
Hmm.
lead someplace, you can do it. Considerably better than that if you're on primers that you bought 2 years ago.
Here
You got
we
to go buy
go. We're getting the
primers.
whole
Hmm.
set built up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
was
got.
going to be
I got
going
one.
with 31-cent primers and not $8 a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, William, thank you.
So, Fuzz 3030 in Georgia is non-existent. You cannot
Wow.
find it.
Do you need some, sir? I can make you some. I roll my own.
I tell you what, I do want to borrow your 150 grain 3030 mold though. I
Well,
promise I won't leave it out in the rain or
hey. I've apologized for it. I already told you I'd buy you a new one, but
I
it,
will
it
be.
still makes great bullets. It just looks a little rough on the outside.
hey man, that it ain't the fact that it all boils down to it's just fuel for picking on Kyle with. That's all it is. If I never see that mold again, I'm okay, brother. I'm
You're
telling
gonna ride my back like a jockey.
you. Yeah.
I understand. I'm just gonna find you another dang mold. That's what I'm gonna do.
No, don't do that, man. We'll fix that one up. It'll be fine.
I was gonna take it to work and take it to the wire wheel and knock all that stuff off. Put a little bit more edge red on there, but
That's
hey,
not-
the cavities are beautiful, man. That thing casts some amazing bullets.
Yeah. Just go ahead and take that wire wheel to the cavities. They'll fix them right up.
Hush.
No, Pat, no,
Be sure you
no,
hit those
no,
edges real well too.
no. I see what you're trying to do there, Walter. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say we're still beating on Kyle tonight.
Oh
With
yeah, let's
him.
do it. Let's do it. Hell, take a shot at me night. That's fine. I'm fixing to go eat some chicken wings anyway.
So, Dave, I can't believe you've been off your bike for 10 years, man. But I can't say much. I was off mine for 3, but I had stuff going on.
Thorzak said he bought that GP11 ammo back when it was kind of new stuff on the market, and he likes it.
Got 51 on. That's pretty good.
I mean, there's no doubt that you can get store bought factory ammunition that is phenomenal, or you could. Right now, you can't
Yeah,
find it.
you can't.
So if you don't have the knowledge and the skills to be able to load your own, you're not going to be shooting. And if you're not shooting, you're not maintaining the skills that you've worked so hard over however many years to learn. And just reloading your own ammo makes it a lot more cost effective. You're not going to save any money. You're just going to shoot more.
Exactly. That's one of those great lies of our times, right up there with your check is in the mail. The other ones, you'll save all kinds of money if you reload. No, you won't. I'd hate to think what if we took and summed up all the dollars that have been spent by just this group here, let alone the guys over in the side chat over there. What you spent on reloading gear and components, and just in the last 5 years, there's no. We could have probably secured the national budget.
I need a 3.56 thing to size this lead down, 9mm.
And Tread, in my defense, I was casting and it was bedtime. So I turned the pot off. I let the mold cool off, and then a thunderstorm blew in and flooded everything that was on my back porch because it was so windy. And yes, I should have taken the mold inside, but I didn't. I left it on the table and it got wet.
So, well, things happen.
But I fired it back up after I scuffed it up with a Scotch-Brite pad and oiled it up and all that. Went through about 14, 15 castings, and that baby's making beautiful bullets. Just the outside looks a little rough.
Well, I'm kind of the same way myself. Not my molds. I mean me. I look a little rough on the outside, but inside
But I did the honorable thing, and I will order Jamie a new mold.
Did you get the rust off, Jamie?
You don't have to do that at all, Kyle.
Well, you let me borrow a steel mold, and I messed up and left it laying on the dang table.
It's probably not irreparable, brother. But anyway,
No, it's not. But if you want a new one, by all means, I will order you a new one. I'm not used to that's the first steel mold I've ever cast with. Nothing dawned on me. Hey, dumbass, you live in Georgia. It's humid as crap. It didn't dawn on me that a steel mold would rust. I got aluminum molds that have been sitting here for 6 months.
right. Even here, where my humidity stays relatively low, it gets foggy here in the morning, but in the garage, it could be 98% for a couple hours outside with the marine layer that rolls in every morning. But it dries up pretty quickly. But if I don't keep my iron molds pretty well saturated with mineral oil, they'll rust here too. So I
even had it wrapped in one of them oil papers.
Yeah.
Got
to it anyway. Huh?
Whatever that stuff is, I even had it wrapped in that. But the rain blew in here so bad, the storm was so rough that the oil-based paper just fell apart when I picked the mold up. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah, it blew in. All the water came in through a screened-in porch. I didn't think anything about it. I thought just wrap it up in the paper and we'll continue again in the morning.
Yeah,
I come out in the morning. I was like, oh my God.
CW, what do you do with your molds? How do you put your molds away when you know you're not going to pick them up tomorrow and cast with them again? It might be 2, 3, 6 months or so.
Mineral oil.
Yeah, that's what I use. I pretty much paint them with mineral oil and then wrap them up and put them away. And that mineral oil, most of it will wipe off with a rag, and wipe off with a rag will burn off.
I wipe it off with a rag and hose it off with brake cleaner and start casting.
Well, I learned a very valuable lesson with a steel mold. Once you get that baby hot and you're casting, you're in the zone, and everything's great. Any oil that you had on that thing to protect it goes away. Is that correct?
Well, the mineral oil will. If you use 2-cycle oil, it's a little more heat resistant, and something like that, or even motor oil doesn't seem to want to burn away, but that mineral oil does. When I get done cleaning them all up and getting ready to cast, stick them on the hot plate. Rarely do I have everything off of it. You can just see that stuff smoking.
You can see it steaming.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was saying. This is my first steel mold ever using, and the switch just didn't click. Think about it. You get your gun real hot and you see the smoke come off of it and all that. You better re-oil that thing.
Yeah.
I do wrap a couple of them. Most of my steel molds go in a big. It's almost like a tackle box, but it's not. And the ones that won't, I have just like you'd wrap up a gun or something. I got an old rag, oily rag. I wrap it up in that. Now it's not dripping with oil by any means, but it's
right
oil soaked at one time.
It's like the one you use to clean your cast iron skillet out.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Some of these old molds that I have don't have boxes anymore, and you get them and they just came in the mail wrapped up in newspaper or something, and so I just use those. I use a cheap, um, polysynthetic material rags, microfiber type rags. You get them free from Harbor Freight every once in a while. You get a 4-pack for nothing if you go buy a screwdriver or something. I use those, and then after a while, they get kind of soaked with some mineral oil, and they seem to do a pretty good job. But I keep the rags on there as much to protect those older, like my Hensley and Gibbs mold, to protect them from physical abuse, from being in the drawer with a bunch of other ones, and keep from getting knocked up any worse than they already are. Some of those 80-year-old molds, you kind of like.
There's Roger. Uh-oh.
I will fix that mold. Actually, the mold's not broken. It's just aesthetically not pleasing. I used it the other night. I got home, fired the pot up, and cast some more.
I've used navel jelly on some of those really rusty ones, and you can paint that stuff on there and let it set for just a few minutes and hose it off, and then dry them off real good and re-oil them. And that stuff will take a lot of the surface rust off without hitting anything. Willie's
coming over. I thought I'd give him something to load, so I cast up a bunch more.
Man, that is a great bullet, though. I mean, it absolutely is.
It shoots good out of these Smith & Wesson airweights.
We need to say hey to our buddy OCD Outdoors. What good evening. And while I'm doing that, let's just back up and say hello to everybody out there. And I know, Mr. Pollard, I understand that I am not Chico. But Chico has to take care of Carter, too. So, okay, we got Thor's Axe. This is all the way back to 813. Broke Loader, what's happening? Jesse B. Outdoors, Hobbies Hobos. Mr. James Pollard, Andy 79Z28. I'm putting your box together right now, Andy. Broke Loader, Jason Stewart, Echoes Reloading Chamber. Jesse B. Outdoors, K24, G23. Buzz T48, John's Hand Loading, JCM45. Big E. Kyle Lusk is on the panel. Lead Bullet Junkie, AAB, Tread, Thor's Axe, CW Longshot is on the panel. Jerry Parker, thanks for subscribing to our channel. GGW Reloading, did I say him already? William C. Chapin said he's going to donate a scale as well.
We still need to get together and blow them things up.
John's Hand Loading. Jesse B. Outdoors. $30 equals 1. Y'all ain't right. Tread, CW. Big Al, what's happening, man? There's Thor's Axe again. Lead Bullet Junkie again. Daniel God is my judge. Jesse B. Reloader 762. Mr. Pollard again. Rollis Carvelis.
Since
Tread, JCM 45. Jerry Parker, Lead Bullet Junkie. I'm repeating myself. And I think that's about all.
Since Big Al is in the side chat, what did that video mean that you no, never mind, that wasn't you.
Hold on, we got 67 Rebel SST AMC.
Michael Hurtneck showed up.
Fox Fletcher. We got OCD Outdoors.
What's up, Michael?
Big E again. And
Hobbies Hobos.
Michael Hurtneck. Hey, buddy. Welcome in. Don't believe I've seen you in here before, but welcome. And I've been wrong before, too. All right. That's a point right there. Let's see. Thoughts on 6.5 millimeter 140 grain bar match burners? Have no clue, buddy. Wished I could help you, but I believe Walt Fletcher. I believe that Ed Harris is the one who concocted the original batch of Ed's Red.
Oh, Ed Harris did. That's his.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
That
I
is
was
his.
thinking.
Yep.
No, broke loader. I didn't make frog legs. I'm having chicken wings.
There you go.
Let's
Big
add some
E
wings.
UCD says they shoot well in 6.5 Creedmoor.
Or
No,
you
they
don't.
don't shoot
They
well.
don't.
Don't shoot well. Okay.
I haven't dove off into the 6.5 swimming pool yet.
Water's fine. Come on in.
So Walter Echo's asking how you doing, buddy.
Oh, hey, Echo. Yeah. Yeah. Doing well here. Life's good out here in California, except for the politics and the taxes and the real estate and all that stuff. The weather's fine. Our national forest is shut down or has been for a year. They closed. We had a big national forest. The Los Padres National Forest is right over here. 4 miles from where I live is where the nearest border of the national forest is, and it's a large national forest. Can't target shoot in it anymore. They shut it all down completely. Still hunt there, but you can't go target shooting. And so there were some designated shooting areas where we could go shoot our long guns. Can't do it there. My next bet is a couple of rancher friends that live out in a little community about an hour drive from here where I used to live, and it's a long way to go out there, but I got to get out with Bonnie and go get her and her grandson set up and do some long gun shooting. But I haven't shot any of my long guns in a year since COVID. They were kind of scared to have anybody come out there, so they like it when I come because I bring all the ammo. They don't reload. I've offered to teach the whole family to reload, and they haven't taken me up on it since COVID started. So,
I gotta ask G23 since we're seeing this 6.8 ARC or 6.8 SPC. What is the attraction to those particular cartridges over a good old fashioned 270 Winchester? And I'm not being smart or trying to be confrontational at all. I'm asking a legitimate question because I am a big time 277 fan. I love the 270 Winchester round. I've probably killed more deer with that than anything else that I shoot. And
I'm old school. I like the old rusty, trusty, dusty calibers. 30-06, 308, 270. That kind of stuff. I hadn't branched off into these new. Started out as wildcat rounds, and now they've become mainstream. I just hadn't done that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I can take care of business with what I got. So
6 was big in Europe.
means I got to get a new mold. I got to get another set of dies. Before you know it.
yeah, and Curtis, yeah, we are with PG&E here. They've got their butt in a bad spot right now. They're in a sling. They just had to own up to starting another fire here in California this last week.
I was rather impressed when we were at Dead Zero. What was that, 2 years ago now, Jamie? Yeah, 2 years.
2 years ago.
I was rather impressed. I put the dope in the scope, and at 1,000 yards, was dead on with the first shot, cold bore shot. I mean, you can't beat a 308.
Well, the Let me catch up here. I look down at my phone. Next thing I know, I don't even know where I'm at in the side. You guys are awesome.
You guys are busy in there.
Well, there's 53 of them, and I can't keep up with all of them.
And their favorite game is to make us guess on who's gonna say what and when.
There you go.
But that's part of it. And that's why we love them.
That's the big one that came to my mind.
Brand new lapel brass 308.
The 6.8 SPC can be fired out of an AR.
That's good brass, Elliot.
And long range accuracy. So I'm thinking 270 might be pretty good with the long range accuracy. That's what I'm going to be trying.
I like 270. I've always wanted that caliber.
It's fun.
It's the original out west long range cartridge is what I've always read. Jack O'Connor used to write about it. I think it was Jack.
I was going to say it. Some guy named O'Connor used to write a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hobby's Hobo, that's Mike. He says modern cartridges are cooler, in quotes, for a while. There's a certain level of fun being on the leading edge, especially when you're young. And there might be something to that. And we've seen a lot of new calibers come up in the last couple of years, haven't we? A dozen.
Yeah.
Like. And
well, the new thing is to tune up the old calibers. They change the rifling twist and let them shoot longer bullets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And call it a new number. And 6.8 Western is a prime example of that. It's it's not short, but it's short fat for what it is. And they're turning numbers, like it said, right there. Really great on the doors of the 7 mag with a little better BC bullet.
Yeah, and it's like you guys were saying, it's pretty hard to beat some of our old school cartridges that have been around for 80 years or more, and have proven themselves year after year after year after year to be, good game getters.
And like I said, Walter, and thanks for being here, Walter Davis. I probably put more meat in the freezer with a 270 than anything else I shoot. And I'm way behind. AAB. Remember, 3030 was the original 300 blackout.
Yep.
Mr. Stewart, no, it's not hard on barrel life. I've shot probably 800 rounds through my Browning, and you can run a bore scope through it and it looks brand new. And Mr. Fletcher, a 30-06 does have a longer range than a 308.
Mm-hmm.
But in Georgia, anything over about 150 yards is overkill. So,
Mm-hmm.
Nice rifle.
I love my M77, but mine's in 30-06.
I had one in 7 mag.
I have a Remington ADL 30-06, probably 15 years old, maybe.
Okay, let's address this, and I know you just did. Maybe you guys, and then there's something else we need to talk about. 270 hard on barrel life, 30-06 beats any 308. For range and power, yes. Accuracy at distance, I'm not so sure. I'd have to do some testing. I love my M77, but mine's in 30-06. Your 270 Winchester is basically a 30-06 neck down to .277 instead of .308. Am I correct, guys?
For you country people, that would be 6.8.
There's a little case difference, but shoulder and angles. But yeah, it's a 30-06 case.
there is. I think the reason they did that is so you can't put a 270. The bullet it won't chamber in a
Yep.
30-06.
Yep.
But it does, and it will shoot in it, and it'll just bounce down the barrel. Don't ask me how I know. Yeah.
Yeah, and it depends on what you're hunting. You know, you want to make the gracious shot. You don't want the animal to suffer. So, and you also got to know the limitations. But I can put a 308 bullet, a 208 grain 308 bullet, anywhere I want it at about 12 to 1500 yards. That's plenty for Georgia. It's plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Hobby's Hobo. Hobby's Hobo says, can anyone finally answer the 9mm versus 45? Yeah, one's a single number and the other one's got 2 digits. That's it. It's over.
Oh, I've seen y'all's animals. I've seen y'all's animals out west.
Okay.
I've been hiking and run across a mountain goat and elk and all that stuff. Damn, those are big.
Our coastal critters here are some pretty scrawny little deer. A big buck out here might dress at 110 pounds. It might. And so our coastal deer are relatively small, and so you don't need a 50 caliber to kill those guys. We do have some black bears if you can get a tag for one, and we do have a few elk out here, and there's a season on them. There aren't very many. They're what we call a Thule elk that are native to the Central California area, and they were put on a reserve. So I guess 20 years ago now, and they've been multiplying. They've been doing pretty well, actually. They put 20 does and a couple of big bulls out there, and there's 300, I think, in the herd now, 20 years later. So they're doing pretty well. So you draw a tag for them once in a while, but most of the guys are up in the hills here hunting our little jerky deer is what I call them. You're not going to get a nice trophy around these parts where I am anyway. You can go up in Northern California, you got a little bit better chance. Not around here.
I agree with Big Al on that statement.
So on, Jesse. Come back if you can.
I've shot 300 Win Mag. I've shot 50 cal. I've shot 30-06. I've shot 308. I'm more familiar with the 308.
That's right.
When I was younger and was hunting out here, it was mostly because if I didn't hunt, I didn't eat when I was first getting started, and so I had a lot of rabbits. And you could pull two deer tags a year, and I always got those. And you probably might guess what my rifle was. It was a Winchester Model 94. I still got it. Bought it 40 years ago. 30-30 iron sights. Always killed 2 bucks with it. I wouldn't take pictures of them, but they put jerky in the pouch and a couple hams in the freezer.
Yep. I've still got the very first rifle that I ever owned. I've still got it, and I think Jamie shot it.
First,
just iron sight 35 Marlin.
Yeah, if you knew where to hunt, then it was pretty easy to get in a 100-yard shot. But it must be something like Georgia. Our brush is so thick back up in our canyons here that you almost got to wear Kevlar armor to get through it, and you got to sew your dog up when she comes back out of it, and it's hard to get through. So you get a we call them potreros, which is like a meadow up here, but it's grass, it's short grass. and they'll come out to the edge of that early in the morning and early in the evening. The rest of the day, they're brushed up and, back in there behind. You can't get to them. They get out early enough or late enough, and they'll sneak out to the edge, and that's when you pop them. But it's never more than a 100-yard shot. So that 30-30 was fine. It did the job.
I was told by a friend of mine's dad, who was an avid hunter, so was my friend, that you need a larger caliber bulldozer to go through the woods to kill the deer. So I don't know where the door came from. Need a larger caliber bulldozer to kill the deer when you're shooting through all the brush. And I was like, okay. And I got that 35. My father gave it to me when I was 12 years old, actually. And that thing has harvested quite a few deer hams.
I imagine so, yeah.
And I've got a question. Can y'all help him?
I got mine tucked in above the door, the top of the safe. And my other safe, it won't fit that way. I got two bigger ones, so I got it standing up, kind of hanging in the back.
I've got mine in the back corner. It's up through one of the holes where a gun would be.
There's Ozark. So I'm thinking the answer to your question, Big Al, is on the floor is not probably the greatest place.
I don't really know that it would matter as long as it's in there.
It's only like a warming thing. It just drives the moisture.
Right. I don't think that it would matter because, like, my safe is vented at the top. So, I mean, you could have it at the bottom. And like, yeah, all it is just a very mild curling iron. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's going to vent through where it's going to vent. It really doesn't matter where you put it.
Echo just posted up. He said he talked with them, and they said put it on the bottom because heat rises. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Uh-oh. What you got?
Good idea. Good stuff, boys. Now, before we go any further, back to our original conversation about how we do our molds. This week, right before we came on, I got an email from Chico. And let me see if I can share screen this with y'all. I don't know how good it'll come out, but okay. All right, this is going to take some effort on my part, so y'all bear with me just for a minute. Share screen. Okay, can y'all see that? There you go. All right, now what that says is Chico-wise user. Hello, I'm part of a reloading live stream community and had an interesting question that may or may not vary by manufacturers. It's related to casting bullets. Is it recommended to store or leave our cast bullets, final pour, left in the mold until next use? Why or why not? Let's see if I can blow it up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Can y'all see it now?
That's better.
Okay. Why or why not? We've been asked this question a lot. It seems some do and some don't. Looking forward to hearing your response. Since many in this community start off with lead mold, I plan to share your responses on our live stream, Georgia Shooting Connection, every Friday on YouTube. Thanks. Sincerely, Chico Wise on YouTube, Instagram, and most social media. Okay, now let me go back and find their answer. Y'all are going to absolutely poo-poo. Chico, I don't believe that leaving bullets in the mold cavities would be detrimental to lead aluminum mold blocks. But on the other hand, I cannot think of any good reason to leave bullets in the mold cavities. Sincerely, Peter, customer service, Lee Precision, or should we say to that response, customer no service.
He can't think of any reason why you would.
There's no advantage to doing it,
Right. That's what
and he
he's
doesn't see
saying.
a disadvantage either.
Yeah. So their position is do it if you want to, and if you don't want to, then don't do that either. It's pretty
I just
mellow.
did it because I didn't want any contaminants to get into the mold cavities while I wasn't using the mold.
I have heard guys say that they thought that it might help prevent rusting in the cavities, but it's always seemed to me that if you left a cast bullet in there, that over time that bullet might shrink a little bit, and if it does, then you got a little bit of airspace in there with, and if you're in a high humidity area, you could still get a little moisture sneaking in there. So I never saw any benefit of it, at least where I live. So I never have left bullets in the mold.
Right. I don't see. Can we stop giving me hell about this damn mold, please?
We're never going to hear the last of it, are we?
eBay, here I
Robo is
come.
not going to let
Good.
up.
I don't know. Maybe it's good for ratings. Who knows? We'll ask MSNBC.
There you go. They'll know.
Like they would tell you.
I
Hello,
don't-
Bill and well armed. Good to see you, buddy.
I kind of agree with that response. I don't see any reason why I should, but I don't see any reason why it's a bad thing. I just do it to keep dirt, debris, airborne, whatever, from getting into the mold. But like Walter said, the bullet could shrink and it'll still get in there anyway. But when it comes to aluminum molds, they're not going to rust, so, the sprue plate might, but
They can still corrode.
They can corrode.
Right.
Yeah, we've all seen.
well, if I live next to the ocean with saltwater mist all over the place, I'd worry about it, but I don't.
Yeah, I've run across a couple of, not mine, but other, in garage sales, whatnot, some old Lee molds that were pretty corroded all the way around, and who knows where they lived out their last 30 years of their life. And,
Right.
hey, incidentally, speaking of Lee molds, is Lee going back to the bar and trough lockup instead of pins? The reason I asked that, I was looking on one of the online retailers, might have been Midway, looking at a picture of a mold, and this was just like in the last week, and there was a two cavity mold, and the mold was open, on their little demonstration thing there where you buy the mold, and it had the old bar and trough lockup down at the bottom of the mold. I thought, what in the world is that just an old mold that they put up there to show? Because I hadn't seen that in a long time from Lee. So I wondered if maybe they're going back to that with some of the molds.
That key drive 12 gauge that I got that I had so much trouble with was made spring of this year, and it has the pins. Doesn't have the posts.
That was a funny video, by the way.
Not everybody appreciated it.
I did. I thought it was great.
We were just trying to show what happened. Not, wasn't for judgment. It was just to show that.
When you threw it down. Oh man.
I wanted to throw it across the street, but I
Well, actually, I think you sent me a different version of what
Yeah, I
you
did.
posted.
Yeah, I did. I talked with Julio, and he says, "Yeah, maybe we shouldn't post that." I said, "Yeah, I think you're right."
I actually showed that to a buddy of mine at work that cast, and he was like, "Well, he ain't wrong."
I'll say this: I bought recently. Well, I would say within the last 6 months, I bought the 323 165 1R Lee mold from an eBay seller, and it was the coolest thing. I got to dig this up and show y'all. It came in the original Lee box, brand new, never been used, and the sales receipt was still inside the box. And the man bought it in 2007,
Hmm.
and it never been used.
Wow.
So I need
Probably
to do
said
a video.
$14.95 or something on the sales receipt.
I think it was 1999. Seriously.
Yeah. It was incredible to see what some of those molds were going for on eBay just a few months ago.
Oh, it was nuts, wasn't it? Oh,
It seems to have slowed down a little bit, you know, where guys have got some of their Lee 2-cavity molds that they're selling for $25. But I mean, they were getting $60, $70 for a 2-cavity.
I think it was $35 shipped for that slug mold. I just bought it off eBay.
Yeah.
And it was brand new made, brand new sold.
Well,
There's Mr. Hester.
I guess we can
Rebel.
start now. Rebel and 6-shooter Texan just showed up.
Yeah, and William says he thinks that one that photo I saw in Midway probably was an old photo, but you would think
Yeah, just a stock photo they had, more than likely.
I'm gonna go back in and try to find that and look at it again.
It's been quite a while. They've changed that though. It's not something new.
No, years.
Yeah, years.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I figured they changed those whenever that occurred that Curtis is talking about. But I thought it was very cool that I was able to get that over, and they're different to work with. They really are. You got to wiggle them to get them to go seal together really good.
Right.
But they make good bullets.
Yeah, you can't beat them Russian molds though.
I've been liking these MP molds that I've got. I got 3 of them now. And
I knew you would. I keep telling everybody.
They're so easy to cast with. After I've been casting for like maybe 25 years or something, and I never cast a hollow point. I never used a mold that had any kind of a pin in it. So I thought, well, I better start giving this a try. And so I got that first one. It was a hollow base wad cut. So that was the first one of theirs that I got, partly because that was about all they had available 8 months ago or whenever it was I got that mold. And so and that was my first brass mold, my first hollow anything mold, first mold with pins in it. And I thought I was going to have all kinds of trouble figuring that out. Shoot, the first bullets to the last were perfect. They're so easy to cast with. And I just loved every minute. Well, I'm going to get me some more of these. And then I went to look for more. Of course, they didn't have any. And so I got put on the wait list. And then all of a sudden I got two of them came in that I wanted. This one, that's the 45 ACP hollow point.
And that's out of a brass mold?
Yeah, that's out of a brass mold, slick sided. You know, and I mean, they come out easy out of an MP mold in the first place, but that slick side just wants to fly out of there.
Yeah,
you'd almost have to pay it to want to get it to stay in that mold. They jump out of there so easy, and they get to temperature and they hold the temperature well. And so I got that one, and then I got this big old, they call it the 45 Colt carbine. It's a slick-sided bullet, and so I got these to shoot out of the Henry. And like all of their, I guess all in CW, no, do all of their hollow point molds come with that full selection of pins? Both of these ones that I got, as well as the hollow base wad cutters I got, had three choices for bases plus, a flat, or for the nose rather, plus a flat.
Usually, far as I know, it's 3, and he has an option of a couple more, but I don't know that he offers them with all molds.
Okay,
Like the Penta is usually an extra. Usually you get a deep hollow point, a cup hollow point, and a flat point.
Yeah, these both came with 4. They both came with the round, the penta, the cup, and a flat point.
Yeah, so he may have just some packages with that. He also has a 3-sided.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, so it's Penta, 3-sided, deep hollow point, cup hollow point, and flat point. And he may have more. That's just what I remember.
But that
Mine
that makes that a pretty good value. Really, when you think about it. I mean, sure, they're 3 times what a Lee might cost you. Or not really. I guess for a Lee 6 cavity mold, or factory price $60 or something. So
Yeah, absolutely.
what a Lee 6 cavity would. But for a 4 cavity mold and all of those choices, that's kind of a whole lot of fun. You can cast 4 different bullets at a time through it.
Okay, this is what mine came with. And mine just got here last week, but mine came with, and I've got the Penta hollow point pins in the mold right now. So it came with, let me blow this up where y'all can see. It came with, the Pentas are in it. So it came with that one, which is the deep hollow point. And then that one is the cup.
Yep.
Am I right, CW?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the shallow.
Yep.
And the just the flat to make no hollow point. So mine came with 5 choices, and it came in this this bag of stuff, and I'm like,
right,
yeah.
I fumble a little bit with the little clips that are on there. So what I started doing was I just unscrew the entire pin, leave the clip on it, and screw it back into the next pin if I want to change pins, rather than try to pull the clips off and leave the connecting rods, I'll call them, attached to the pin. It's hard for me to get those little clips on and off. I've busted half a dozen already. Good thing they send you extras. So I just take the Allen wrench and unscrew the whole connecting rod, pull those off, put a new hollow point pin in there, and screw those back in.
Look, I started like everybody with Lee 2 cavity molds, and they make great bullets. They're easy to use, and they're fine. Then I won a couple of NOE molds off of Full Ed Taco, and I thought, wow, man. Then I ventured out and got some steel molds from Lyman, Ideal, Seiko, that kind of stuff. And those work really good once you get them up to temperature. And then just recently I bought that, that MP mold because of CW's advisement. And I'm telling you, man, it's hard to say that one mold is better than the other, but guys, seriously, MP takes it to another level. Now, I've never tried Arsenal or any of those, but those are just the ones I have, and that's the experience I have with them.
They are so easy to use and so forgiving that I'd almost have a new reloader start with one of those, or a new caster, I mean, because they're so easy to use. They got a couple little issues and things that they could improve on, and CW pointed one out here the other day in one of his videos. The sprue plate stop pin is a roll pin, and so it's hollow, and so it's pretty easy to get a little bit of lead overrun down into that thing, and then it runs all the way down to the side of the mold, and it'll get all over that end pin and leave a little sprue of its own down in there. They come right out, or you can take a torch to it and melt it out of there. It doesn't hurt anything. And so you wonder why did they do that? Well, I know why they did it, so you can easily replace it when it starts to wear a little bit, and they're easy to install originally, but that's a little exasperating at first. You look at that and you got this little sticker of lead coming out the top of that, and then you look down the side of the mold and here's this icicle hanging down the side. How'd that get there? And they have a little channel cut between the cavities, not very deep, but just a little in the sprue plate. So if you fill that sprue plate a little too quickly, you're going to start drizzling lead into the next cavity, maybe a little sooner than you wanted. So I kind of learned to keep that mold tipped a little bit away from me instead of exactly level, still letting the lead go straight down through the hole. But if I tip it just a little bit of an angle, then that won't happen. And I'm not sure why they put a shallow little channel like that. You know, our Henley and Gibbs sprue plates have a huge channel in them to help even out that sprue, and it does a good job at that. And yeah, it's a river channel. It's a creek bed they got in there. And so you're going to get some run over into the next cavity with them. So you got to use a little different flow rate with that mold. But I kind of wonder about that MP little groove. That's all it is between what the actual idea was behind that. But
yeah, I'd rather have it bigger too.
Yeah.
And broke loader, yes, you can mix them up and do whatever you want. You could have, if you have a 4 cavity, or in Jamie's case, a 5 cavity, you could have a different pin in every cavity. No problem.
Mine's a 4 cavity.
But one thing I will say, I do not recommend for first-time casters to start with a hollow point mold. If you want to start with a hollow point mold, that's fine. Once you figure that one out, the rest of them are easy. But just get a little bit of experience under your belt with a regular bullet, and then because it's a little different, you know.
They are, but both of these, and that's the Penta and the round 45 ACP. They were both cast at the same time out of the same mold, and they were so easy. I mean, they don't stick in there. There's no bottom pin with a handle on it that you got to pull out or anything. Even at saying, well, maybe a first caster shouldn't start there. Yeah, maybe, but you could put the flat plugs in there and start that way with that mold. And kind of go that route, and then you wouldn't have to deal with the hollow points. But really, Kyle, I don't see a huge issue with these. Now, with a couple other molds that I had got this year that have a pin in the bottom, and there's a little bit more to that than there is with these MP hollow points. His system is so foolproof that it's hard for me to imagine that even a beginner would, maybe after it might take a beginner 2 or 3 moldfuls to figure out what he's doing, but he can watch a couple of CW's videos and he'll have it. I mean, they're not that hard.
Well, the other nice thing is with this style mold, and I agree, you're probably best with a solid bullet to start. But with this mold, you can use a solid bullet. You just change the pins out to be solid, and then as you get better and you get the courage up to try it, you can try it. Or you want to do just one cavity.
I just remember when I first started casting hollow points, and this is out of the NOE mold. I remelted a lot of bullets because the edges would break off and all that stuff. And I actually got with loads of bacon and talked with him on the phone for a little bit. And he goes, "This is what you're doing wrong. Try this. Tell you what, tomorrow, call me about 10 o'clock. Fire the pot up, have it ready, and I'll talk to you, and we'll see what's going on." And it turns out you can't go into mass production when you're doing hollow points. You do them You let them cool down for a minute, which is the cardinal sin for a mold. And then you break them loose, and then you let them cool down a little bit more, fill them back up, stick them on a sponge, cool it down again, because it's different. You got to make the lead release from the pins. He said smoke the pins. I smoked the pins. But actually, after about a 20-minute conversation between me and him on speakerphone, and I've been casting for years at this point, I was throwing out beautiful 44 Magnum hollow points, and he was like, they're just so, you got to feel for it and learn to know what you're feeling for. That was my problem. I didn't know what I was feeling for.
And that
it worked for you, and
that might
it worked for you, and that's the important part.
But the MP, there's none of those problems happen with that MP. You can
I'm gonna have to get me an M&P mold. I don't have any MMPs. I got plenty of NOEs. I got some Lees. I got some Lymans. I don't have any MMPs.
Well, you've all watched me. You've all watched me cast, so you all know I don't have a sponge, and you all know I don't go slow.
Right.
So it's the biggest problems everybody has, especially beginners, is their molds are dirty and their molds aren't hot enough.
Right.
Those two things, it's going to cover 90% of the problems. Or they'll get a brand new mold that's not broke in, and that's a little bit of both. It's a little bit dirty and it's not hot enough.
And Full Lead Taco actually commented on the same video, and he goes, "You're going too fast. Let them cool off a little bit."
You season your mold, or you have a seasoned mold, and you get the proper temperature, and it's gonna run. You need it nice and clean. It's gonna run. My secret is, and it's not my secret, but everybody's seen it, is the brake cleaner. I buy it by the case.
And see, that's what I did with my MP mold before I started using it. It's brass, and I've never owned a brass mold before, so I scrubbed it real good with an old toothbrush and some dish detergent, and then cooked it 3 times, brought it up to 400 degrees 3 times, and then let it cool off, sprayed it down with brake cleaner, put the little parts in there. I cleaned them off with brake cleaner as well, and got it up to temperature. And before I even poured it, and the second pour was perfect bullets.
But no offense, Walter, when it comes to brake cleaner, you have to use the stuff that's not allowed for sale in California.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't use it. We can't. The stuff we get here, I think, is just rubbing alcohol or something. I don't know.
It's smelly water is all it is. They take water and put something in it to make it smell bad.
Now, I personally have never done this, but I do know a guy who rides a motorcycle out of state every once in a while, and every now and then he'll bring back
smuggles it in
some good brake cleaner. Oh, God.
But John's Hand Loading's had a question out there for quite a while. If we can give him some attention and some love, he wants to know about I can't even say that. I'm assuming that's a Turkish-made 1911. It might be one of the brands from the Filipino plant down there. John, my opinion is that if you're not buying a Colt or a Kimber or less Bear, you're not going to pay a lot of money for it. Go for it, Kyle. Answer the question.
Do not say that. One of the best shooting 1911s I've ever owned was a Turkish 1911.
Well, you didn't let me finish.
I mean, I've got Colts. I've got whatever.
I know. And that colt you got that you love so much, that's a colt. I'm My point was going to be that if you're not going to be paying high money for one of those uh, big name brand 1911s, that the ones made in the Philippines are there's a lot of countries buying those for their sidearms for their military still to this day, and the Turkish shotguns. Turkey's making some shotguns as fine as anybody in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you what, I'll put it to you like this: it's a 90% plus as to go ahead, buy it, shoot it, see what you want. You may lose $30 or $40 if you need to sell it off because you don't like it. Something like that. But I've got a couple of Turkish shotguns. I got a couple of Turkish 1911s, and they are fine. I can't remember. And I'm not going down to the gun safe to look, but I can't remember the name of it of the 1911. I love shooting that thing. It is dead nuts accurate, and everything feels just exactly the way it should.
I know a lot of the cowboy action shooters are using Turkish shotguns.
You can still afford to buy those. Guys, I'm sorry I'm way behind on the side chat. I'll catch up in a minute. Y'all keep going. But yeah, man, you don't have to pay a mint for really nice firearms these days.
Buddy of mine's got a Rock Island 1911. Actually, one's got one chambered in 45, one's got one chambered in 38 Super, and they both love them. It's just it's like a car, test drive the thing,
Yeah, like you said, Kyle, you can go ahead and buy one, shoot 400, 500 rounds through. If you don't like it, especially in today's market, if you can lay your hands on a 1911, buy it and shoot it. And if you don't like it, you can turn around and pedal it and probably not lose much. As less
exactly.
Would have been to go rent one for a while.
Yeah, that thing too. But what I found is most of your Turkish anythings are pretty dang good for the money that they are. Everything's not going to be as polished, but you can always polish it. You got a $300, $350 1911, and then you're looking at a $1,400 Kimber. Only difference is take the slide off, take some Scotch Brite to it, clean everything up, lube it real good, and hey, guess what you got? That's just, and I actually own a Colt, so, it's all in the blueprint of the firearm is the same. It's all on the manufacturing process, and if you can just adjust that manufacturing process on the user end to make it suit your needs, why pay the extra grand? I don't know.
Yeah, there's certainly plenty of aftermarket 1911 parts that you go to cover up a few manufacturing, things that you didn't like.
Yeah, I did a little work on that Turkish 1911 that I had, but man, that sucker would run. My Colt is a lightweight Commander. It's a 4.5-inch barrel. The Turkish one is a 5.5, 5.75 inch or something. It's full length slide, and it feels just the same. Everything's all good. I've rubbed here, cleaned here, done this, and I haven't had a problem out of it at all. I mean, and I have no problem carrying it as a personal protection firearm. I mean, it's spot on.
Yeah. I've wondered about those turkey shotguns from Turkey. Were they any good?
They're great. They're. I've got a couple of them. They're awesome.
Mm-hmm. They look like they're pretty good.
Well, I mean, they're half of them are 870 knockoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They got some vanilla variants. They're built a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
Mario.
I miss my shotgun. I had an 870 Super Magnum.
I got one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Kicks on both ends.
Well, three and a half inch. I still got 3.5 inch back there, man. You pull the trigger on that, your shoulder knows it.
Yeah, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple of 3.5 inch shotgun holes laying down here that people have brought me. I'm like, I'm not loading that. Of course, I don't have a press to load them. Mine only does 2 3/4.
There's Senior Master Sergeant Bulldog.
What's up, Bulldog?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Sergeant Bulldog's.
And I see the crazy Scotsman has joined us.
Springfield makes good stuff, Jerry Parker. I have a Springfield XD in 40 Smith & Wesson. I really like that thing.
Well, I know I don't personally own a Springfield, but I know I can give you the phone numbers of 2 people. One person will never buy anything other than the Springfield. One person will never buy another one. I don't know.
I've got 3 of them, and all 3 of them are well-made firearms. I have an XD Jamie 40, the XD Tactical, and I've got an XD 45 Tactical, with the 5-inch barrels on them, and they're good shooters. They're not as good as a couple of the others that I've got, but they weren't real expensive and they work real well. And the one that I have that's the Springfield that does shoot real well is the TRP Operator 45 1911. That's a full rail. Boy, that thing is just as tight as anything you can imagine. It runs really well. It's probably my best shooter for it. Even outshoots my best Kimber.
Well, that's cool. Like I say, I have no dog in this race. I just know one person that'll never buy another one, and one person that will never buy anything but it. So
I've had XD go would not eject stovepipe on me on the magazine. They said it was the magazine bad. They told me Springfield. I sold it, and I got a Springfield range officer stainless steel 9mm, and the slide's pretty tight on it. And it shoots pretty good. I check them. I'll sit there and flop them in the store. And, well, that's too much slop. I won't buy it.
If you grab a 1911 and you shake your hand back and forth and it makes noise, you don't want it.
No.
Right.
Mm-mm. Absolutely.
Which, I mean, by the time you run 15,000 rounds through it like I have mine, it's going to shake.
Yeah, after a while. Yeah, definitely.
I'm scared to know how many rounds I put through mine. That was back when Winchester White Box was $5 for 100.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then we $9, and I was like, I'm starting to spend more money here. So I just started reloading, and then I started casting my own, and so the story goes.
I never warmed to the XD. I tried it even without, if it didn't jam, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I didn't like it.
I heard a couple of problems they were having with the sear and the spring and stuff like that. I can't remember what it was. It was a couple of years ago. but they were having some issue, and the thing was, don't buy the Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it didn't matter to me. I've got plenty of 45s in the gun safe, so I wasn't in the market for one. So
I've had 2 range officer stainless steel. I won't say what happened to the first one, but they do the good. The 1911s are good. I like them, but I just probably will never buy an XD. I'd go with Smith and Wesson M&P 2.0.
I've got several M&Ps, and I love them. And the cool thing about an M&P is you can just, if you got a brown 9mm and a black 40, and you want to switch everything up, you can just change the slide. It's the same gun.
Yeah, I wished I'd bought a 40 on my M&T. I got a 5-inch flat dark earth M&P 2.0. I wish I'd bought the 40.
That was the first M&P that I ever owned, was a 40 cal, full size. I've now got a couple of shields and a couple of 9mm, but that thing turned me on to Smith and Wesson automatic pistols. Man, that's a shooter right there.
Yeah, I like them. I had the core.
One, and it didn't fit my hand. The one Smith and Wesson was 9mm MP that I had, and it just didn't fit my hand. Out of the grip shape or something, I couldn't make myself like the feel of the grips, and I could have changed the grips out, but I didn't. I sold it to my next door neighbor, another retired cop. He liked it. He said, "Man, I'll buy it off." I said, "Good."
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did it change the back straps out and all that? Because it comes with like 3 back straps.
Yeah, I
that
got 3
that I
with
had
mine.
didn't. It was an earlier model, and it didn't come with 3 back straps. It came with.
I think it come with 2 back in. I think 2 it come with a long time ago.
Yeah, I swapped everything out, and I got it where it works for me, and I give it to somebody else with smaller hands, and this just doesn't feel right. Then I give it to my giant friend that's 6'7", 400 pounds. This thing feels like a little baby gun. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do as a firearm manufacturer? What are you going to do? I think they covered most bases with the 3 straps, but
yeah.
Chico Wise is here.
I can't catch up. I'm pretty much helpless without Chico. Ain't I?
Yeah, I had the core years ago, the 40 S&W core with the 5-inch barrel. Had the high co-witness sights and the plate you could take out. And,
yep.
I love shooting it, but I finally traded in on 1911. But I still wish I had it. It was a good gun, and I could hit pretty good with it too. One of the few polymers I could hit and shoot good.
I got all excited over CW and Uncle Jim both got new 380, that new Ruger little 380, the Max, the LCR Max, and that looked like a great gun. Like they made a lot of improvements, and I went over and looked at the California approved roster, and it ain't there. I can't get it in California.
Really?
Gotta love it.
I wonder why.
California has what they call the approved roster. It's not illegal to own one. If I could find one secondhand, I could go buy it from somebody else, but they're illegal to ship through the mail in California. Anything that's not on our roster of approved firearms can't be shipped through the mail or at all. They can't be shipped. Even UPS can't ship them unless they're going directly to an FFL or a law enforcement officer. So then they can get pretty much whatever they want. But the rest of us, we can't go into a gun store and buy a firearm that's not on that roster because the shop owner can't import it into the state.
That state's a control freak. They're control freaks.
Tell me about it. And so, and to be on the roster, as a gun manufacturer, you have to meet a bunch of criteria that nobody can meet. So pretty much the only ones that are on the roster are firearms that have not been changed since they originally went on the roster. So I don't know if you guys heard about micro stamping.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so that's part of what you have to do to be on California's to get a new firearm approved in California. Is it has to incorporate that micro stamping
Jeez.
nonsense, the technology for which doesn't really exist. So
No.
unless you have a firearm that was not already been approved, like a Glock Generation 3, then you can't get it here. The Gen 3 Glocks were approved, Gen 4 weren't, because they didn't, Glock didn't want to put that technology in, and neither did Ruger, neither did Colt, neither does Smith & Wesson. So the only ones that are approved are those models that have not been changed since they were approved. So as long as they keep making some of those older models, as new firearms, we can still get them. But once they quit the run of an MP, Smith & Wesson, we're dead in the water. We can't get it unless we can get somebody else who's got one to sell it to us secondhand. So it's bad news.
They say that micro stamping is not even foolproof. Then is what I've researched.
Well, it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
The whole idea is, well, you go shoot somebody, you leave your brass at the site, and and it's got the micro stamp associated with that firearm. Well, go use a revolver and pick up your brass, or go to the range and pick up a pocket full of brass and throw that down at the shooting site.
Yeah.
So it's just micro controlling. That's all they're trying to do. They just
right
don't
down
want
to right down to the bullet. That's
Yep.
Yeah. Last 5 years in a row, there's been a bill before our state legislature to prevent us from using lead in our bullets, even at the shooting ranges, whether public or private. It's already illegal, as you know, to use lead for hunting here in the state. You got to use copper bullets or steel shot, but they've been trying to prevent us from using lead bullets as target bullets too. Go crazy. It hasn't passed. It hasn't come close to passing, but they keep trying.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm eating chicken wings, and I don't think y'all want to watch that.
My oldest son years ago asked me about that. I said, "Well, do you think years ago when people got a lead bullet in their skin for decades that they died because of lead poisoning?"
Yeah, right.
He goes, "Huh? Okay."
Mm-hmm.
Historically, there have been some professions, like if you were a painter and you use a lot of lead-based paint.
Well, ingesting it.
Yeah,
plumbers. You might have some
California was worried about the condor there with them picking on animals that had lead bullets in them. And I remember the test they had around here. I think it was 4 or 6 number 4 lead pellets would kill a duck in, 6 weeks or something.
Yeah.
I would hope 4 or 6 lead pellets from a shotgun kill a duck in about 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Ingested. Like what you're doing with them chicken wings.
Right, if they eat it. There was out here, there was never any real firm proof that the condors were getting the lead in their system from downed game. They may have, but they may have just been picking. I mean, we have lead mines.
Sure. Lead comes out of the ground.
Out of the ground, they may have been, eating. A squirrel that nibbled on a piece of lead because he thought it looked good, or who knows where they got that stuff.
Somebody's windowsill.
But
it certainly could happen, but I just don't see it as being that big of a probable daily occurrence.
No.
Yeah, and we don't think it was either, but it doesn't matter what we think. They passed the law, and the condors are coming back.
Of course,
but
it's because they're not eating lead bullets.
No, that's because they're breeding them somewhere and releasing them into the wild.
Not because we quit shooting lead. They're coming back because they've been captured and bred in captivity and then released. And the ones that have been released haven't been out there long enough to know how long they're going to live. We're gonna see here in about another 10 years if the condors start dying off from lead poisoning after we haven't been shooting any lead.
Yeah.
We'll know.
I got a California condor. That's a big bird.
We talk about our low humidity. I do have a little bit of humidity here. I got to show you guys this. This is gonna boggle your mind on how smart El Viejo really is and what an ingenious dude this guy. So we got a little condensation here, right? And I'm at my reloading bench, and I don't want to be constantly wiping up that drip off my reloading bench. So I, Walter Bunning, have invented the quintessential reloading bench coaster that keeps your drips off of your ice beverage from dripping all over your bench. This thing is so ideal. It sits up off the bench just a little way. It's got a lot of little indentations to capture all of that moisture so it won't get all over your bench. You ready for this?
And today only, if you pay extra shipping and handling.
I've got a ton of these, and I tell you, I'll ship them off to you. They work really
Primer
good.
coasters. Primer box
Exactly
coasters.
right size, yeah. Primer coasters. And they come in white or black.
Primer coasters. What the hell?
All right, boys. I'm going to go fry up a steak and eat it right out of the pan. What do you think? Because I'm getting hungry. It's only 6:30 here. I should not be hungry.
Let me say bye to JCM 45 before you go.
Good night, man.
All right. JCM heading out.
And I want to show you this. I bought these from American Reloading. These are Sierra Max Kings, 277 diameter, 140 grain. So I got 250 of these for $65.
Wow.
And while you are telling everybody good night, I'll put your link up there so everybody can see it. Y'all go check out Walter Bunning's channel and subscribe if you like his stuff. You won't find a nicer fellow than Walter.
Well,
Have a good one, Walter.
I appreciate that, and it was good to see you guys and have some interaction with the fellows over in the chat there. And Mario, take it easy over there and stay away from that fire. And we'll see you guys on the next one, Uncle Jim tomorrow night or.
Hey, Walter, do you text?
What's that?
Do you text?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not that old. Well, I'm that old. But
I emailed my buddy, and I'll get back to you with that information once he gets back to me.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, fellas. Good night, all, and we'll.
Thanks so much, Walter.
Thanks for
good night, Walter.
Guys. All right, bye now.
Good to see you. Bye. What a blessing. Let me tell you, that dude made some pretty bullets, didn't he, CW?
He did. He did.
And Walter Davis is bugging out on us, too. Good night, buddy.
Good night, Walter.
Ooh, I think I ate too many hot wings.
Can you do such a thing?
Yeah, they're that hot.
I didn't know that was possible.
Ooh, that's some chicken wings.
Okay, another thing I did, and we're going to have to be starting wrapping it up here soon, but I was proud to find these. Kyle will be proud of me. These are pulled, and if you look real close, you can see a little ding around the bottom. You can see where they were crimped. But if you crimp them in the same place, you shouldn't have too much problem with that. What do you think?
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Oh, your American Reloading haul?
Yeah. Look at there. 250 of them suckers, man.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That 140 grain bolt tail Sierra Max King or shoot real good out to at least 500, if not 1,000 yards.
They do good work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do.
Baloo says hello.
Yeah. Senior Master Sergeant Bulldog.
Thank you, sir.
W is making some pretty bullets. That's Walter's was great too, and I'm telling you guys, some of the stuff we're seeing in this community being produced nowadays, y'all guys are knocking it out of the ballpark. So
I mean, look at me. I don't even know what I'm doing, and I'm making beautiful bullets.
With rusty molds.
Right. See?
there's my buddy New Texarkana.
That's what I'm talking about.
No such thing as too many wings. That's like too much money or
A girl that's too pretty.
too much class.
I don't know, man. These dynamite wings got me on fire right now. I'm sweating.
That's
They were
right,
good.
Mario.
They were good. Wow.
Thorzak's got some advice for you.
Prune juice. You evil, cantankerous man.
Thanks, Rollis. That sets my mind at ease.
Whew.
Yeah,
that piece of pizza calmed everything down. I think I'll be all right.
the cranky videos were great to see.
Yeah, you had a good time. Looked like a nice trip. Great to
Yeah.
meet all the people.
I'm glad they made it home safe. Would you quit barking? What are you barking at? You don't even know what you're barking at. Why are you barking? You don't know. You don't know.
Apparently, John's hand loading tried to confiscate a watermelon that didn't belong to him and got some rock salt on the backside.
Uh-oh.
That'll get you in trouble.
Come on, baby girl.
I bought a watermelon a few weeks ago from South Georgia, down the street here. Big one, humongous.
Kind of weird. It's where you live.
John's hand loading had a few girls, a few girls too pretty. Well, I'll say this about that. Beauty is only skin deep, but ugly goes slap to the bone. And if they think they're pretty, or if they really are pretty and they know they are, then all of a sudden they don't look so good no more.
They ain't pretty no more.
Yeah. Like I said, that ugly goes slap to the bone.
Jamie, you ain't said nothing about my shirt. I figured you'd have picked up on it.
I did see that. I think we saw that one time before.
I don't know. I kind of like this shirt.
By text. I love that shirt, Kyle. Very nice.
Good night, Tex.
Night, Tex.
Night.
Like I said, and we lost Kyle.
And there goes Kyle.
No.
Oh, John's right. It was Mike Rebel got shot in the front. Frog time. Yep, apparently. And look,
You moved.
now this boy books. I sent him to school.
He eats the
Wrong
cover.
red button. I was trying to bring back the chat. My bad.
Okay, CW, I know that it's nice there today, but it still gets hot up there.
Oh, yeah.
And I also know that dang, Dave, I'll get to that in a second. It won't make me lose my train of thought, dude. All right. So, y'all know we've had heat indexes of 100. Well, for the past 2 weeks, it's been over 100 heat index here. So you can imagine how hot it gets inside a vehicle. I personally am not allowed to carry at my job because I work for a school system. So y'all don't tell anybody, but mine stays in the car while I go in and work, and then when I get back out, y'all know the drill. So what's happening to your ammunition in the gun and in your extra magazine? When it's getting hot. So what do we do about that? I'm going to tell you about what I did today. Well, I did this past week. I Your Smith and Wesson shields come with two magazines. One of them, mine, that happens to be in 40 Smith and Wesson. One's a 6 round, the other one is a 7 round, and it's got the little dinghy where you can put your thumb right there, so all's good. So I went to the store, and I was looking for reloading components, obviously, but they wanted $49.99 for a pound of powder. They had ram shot tack, and it was very tempting, but I still couldn't make myself pay $50 a pound for ram shot tack. So I picked up two more of these, and I brought the two magazines that I generally carry with me. One of them I keep in the gun, the other one I keep in my magazine holder that goes on my belt. And of course, once I get out of work, I, do what I need to do. But while I'm at work, you need something close by. You can't have it on you, so it stays in the car. Uh, these are the rounds that came out of those magazines, and these are some personal defense. They got the Hornady XTPs in them.
Blow yourself up.
So I think it's important that every so often we swap out our ammo, particularly if you're like me and you have to leave your carry gun in your vehicle for a period of time while you're at work during the day. Now, we have the opposite effect in the summertime. Now, a lot of times with our carry ammunition, we don't know what powder is in there. Some powder is extremely sensitive to temperature, other powders not so much. So in the wintertime, it's getting kind of chilly out there. So, I would think about every 6 months, we might uh, ought to be changing our ammo. What do y'all think?
It's
I
something
think
I do
about
regularly.
Every 6 months, you ought to be shooting that
Yeah,
ammo.
I just shoot it off.
Just shoot it and then replace it. But I know that's been hard here uh, lately.
Not even go. I don't even go 6 months. I do less than that.
My father carried ammo in his a paper bag in his chair around his whole life. He only had one misfire in his entire 70 years, 60 years. And he kept bullets sometimes for 5, 10 years at a time. But that was a revolver, of course.
Yeah, I need to cycle through my 300 blackout that's been in the car for a minute.
And he would have the revolver in the paper bag next to his leg. So body heat constantly. And even then, he only had one failure. And I actually seen that failure. That failure was supposed to kill someone, unfortunately. But,
Oh, I hear them frogs warm up.
yep. I like them frogs.
Yeah, we're talking. I'm wondering. I'm trying to catch up what y'all talking about, but apparently it's Uncle John's birthday. Happy birthday, Uncle John. Uh,
Oh, happy birthday, sir.
Don't be surprised with code if it ain't a mandate.
All
yeah,
right.
that's
Vaccine.
What I want to know is why are Cranky's presses multiplying in the closet while they're on vacation? Is it the cat's away, the mice will play? Is that what's going on?
That kind of thing happens a lot. It happens to guns sometimes too. I don't know how it got there, but there it is.
Don't tell Angel. Don't tell Angel.
yeah, Rebel. But we know where you work, dude.
And if anybody was worried, it's okay. My mouth has kind of calmed down a little bit. Those are some hot damn wings. my beard is burning.
I'm not a fan of hot. I don't see any reason for it.
Oh, I just love them. The flavor is so great, but
I like flavor.
Is the heat.
Mild to medium for me.
Yeah, this place down the street, man, they got this sauce that's just fantastic. And even people that don't like hot stuff, they'll eat one wing and be like, "Man, that is an amazing flavor. How'd they get? Whoa, that's warm." I'm like, that's where the flavor came from. Fuzzy, I don't know really how to take that. Oh, Fuzz, I'm glad that you and Cranky got to meet up. I can't wait till me and you can meet up. I'll suck it up and come up there at one point because I know, Lord knows, you're not coming down here.
I'm glad, Rebel. I'm glad your boss doesn't mind. But if I was caught with a firearm at my work, I would be fired on the spot and would probably be arrested.
Yeah, you probably would be, sir.
I worked at a contact lens company. We weren't supposed to have them on our cars, but we did. We didn't care.
Well, luckily for me, there is nothing in the employee manual saying that you can't carry.
My company did. Yeah.
And actually, my boss is kind of thankful that there's some of us that do carry. And I mean, the owner of the company, and we got 6 stores now. He's thankful for that. He said, "I'm not going to infringe on your Second Amendment rights. Just don't do anything stupid because there may be somebody sitting next to you that's carrying too." I mean, I love that approach. I mean, it's beautiful.
Rollis, that's good to know. Helps my mind set my mind at ease. That was my point, Mike. When you work for yourself, you make up the rules. Who's going hunting this year? Deer season in 6 weeks or so. Archery in 2 weeks.
It's getting close.
I will not be archery hunting in 2 weeks. I'll guarantee you that.
It's too dang hot for
that. But yeah, I plan to hunt. One of my hunting buddies, my main hunting buddy, his wife is in Emory right now. She had to have open heart surgery. So y'all kind of keep her in your prayers. All you praying guys out there, pray for Janet Bricks. She had to have a valve replaced in her heart. So it did such damage to her heart that she's also having to have a pacemaker put in. Pray has a complete and speedy recovery because I need my hunting buddy back by mid-October.
Come on, that's being a little selfish there, isn't it?
No, he needs her. My brother really needs her. I mean, they've been married for like, I don't know. He's Uncle
well,
John.
It's been long enough. You develop a bond, Like I've been with Angel since I've known you, Jamie, right?
Just about.
Yeah. Sometimes it aggravates me when she calls me when she's on the way over here. Like, can't we talk about this when you get here? But I'm still thrilled to hear her voice. So.
Uncle John, he's our associate pastor at my church and the director of outreach and missions. And he got me hunting again back in 2012. So this season will be our 10th season hunting together. So I'm
Oh,
looking forward to a big year.
Awesome.
So Rollis, yeah, man. I I hear people talking about it, and those magazines just sit there loaded until I go shoot, and then I just wanted to get some new mags, and I thought, well, switching mags, I'll switch ammo. So, but I do believe that everybody will agree that different gunpowders react to temperature in different ways.
It depends on what the ammo is loaded with. They've gone to less temperature coefficient volatility uh, powders, which I still don't believe that because I've shot at 60 degrees and I've shot at 100 degrees, and there is a velocity increase.
with some
Uh,
powders. Mhm.
it's it, it's better. It's better than it was, but that they can't stop that factor. I know they're trying to, but they just can't. That's why when you make your dope
Yeah,
charts, you have
Rebel.
to have yours in there too. So
Good night, Rebel. We're fixing to get off here too, buddy. Have a great weekend. And Tread says shoot your carry guns at every range outing. That's a great idea.
hmm
So yeah, what I'm gonna start doing. All right, we gotta start getting off here, guys. We got about 3 minutes to clear the air. CW, what you gonna be working on, buddy?
I want to play more with that new color. I want to see what it looks like with a different under color.
I want to see that too.
I'm going to double coat it and see what I come up with. I think it's going to be better.
I was shocked when I saw that out in the when I saw it inside in the water. It
Yeah,
was real
it changed
black,
so much. That turquoise changed so much.
and you put it in the sun, and it just popped. It's a beautiful color.
I want to try and find a turquoise still too. I haven't found one that I really liked. I like the color. I want to get one.
Thanks, Bulldog. I appreciate the prayers, brother.
I love that green. I like that real intense green.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do look good. I think I can make them look better. And I cranky.
Frankie.
Cranky, you never answered us about the presses. Bad Cranky.
Michael, thanks for coming to join us tonight. We hope you come back. Hope you enjoyed your time with us. We sure enjoyed having you.
I need some Varget, John.
Don't we all?
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jamie, I can hook you up. And AR, you want to come up here to the house? I can hook you up.
Appreciate the offer.
Thanks.
I got a pound, but I'm gonna eventually get a couple of 8-pound jugs, or at least one 8-pound jug.
I got several 1-pounders. I just I don't really use it. I don't really use it. There's a lot of people that swear by it. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why that is, Marvin.
Okay. All right, AR, what you got coming up, brother?
No, just working on some 5.56 still. I'm doing the pocket uniformers past day or so, a little at a time. So outside of that, just
that's the tedious part.
yeah. I was doing a little bit tonight with a hand thing, but I don't like it. Hurts your hands. Back to the drill it goes. So, glad to be on here. Appreciate the invite, Jamie.
You need your Lyman Case Prep Center. All you got to do is just hold it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen those. I got RCBS, prep thing, but it's not that. Some reason I can do better to the drill. So.
All right, Kyle, what you got working on? We'll get out of here and let these nice people get on with their wonderful weekend.
What I am working on right now is writing down a list of stuff that I need to put in the little tote that I'm fixing to take to the lake to go camping this weekend on a boat.
Oh, wow.
Good deal.
That's what I'm focused on this weekend. I got so many projects sitting here, there, and everywhere. I got double alt buck on the lounge chair by the pool. I got buckets full of bullets that need to be powder coated and sized, and I got plenty to keep me busy. But I'm going to go play on the lake and listen to some music and try to catch some fish. We're going to relax this weekend.
Good deal.
I miss fishing. I hadn't fished in a while.
Yeah, that'd be
Me
good.
neither.
Floyd, thanks for the kind words, buddy. I just I got my lineman for Christmas, so I need to work that thing out. So we had 54, I think, at one point this evening. I want to thank everybody for coming in and checking us out, and spending your Friday night with us is a great time to kind of unwind from the week and kick off a nice weekend. So I'm gonna be putting that press video together. Hopefully y'all see it by next week, and we'll get we're gonna get a giveaway together. And OCD, maybe you can join us next week, bro. We'd love to have you. And I guess that's all. We hope the Lord blesses y'all all real good. Lord willing, we'll see you next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Check us out on the Reloaders Network. Send the email to georgiashootingconnection@gmail.com. Y'all have a great weekend.
Good night, everybody.